Rockets have been raining down on Kharkiv for months, and the apartment buildings in the eastern district of Saltivka have borne the brunt of it. Leonid lives on the first floor. The impacts have ripped through his apartment, destroying walls, furniture, the refrigerator. With his window panes gone, the wind blows right through the flat. Leonid is trying to prepare for the winter.
I'll figure something out and look around to make things pleasant and comfortable for myself. I might buy a sheet of metal, attach it here, and make a hole in it. I could set up a wood stove, because you can cook on that, and it gives off heat.
That would help Leonid be less dependent on electricity. When a Russian rocket hit this power plant near Kharkiv, his flat was also affected by the blackout. Parts of the power grid in eastern Ukraine were out for hours. There was no electricity or running water, and the subway in this city with more than 1 million residents stood still.
Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians were sitting in the dark without power. Homes, hospitals, schools, municipal infrastructure. Russian rockets are aiming straight for targets that have nothing to do with our armed forces' infrastructure.
In President Zelensky's hometown of Kryvyi Rih, a dam was severely damaged. Several streets flooded, and the drinking water supply to the city of more than 600,000 largely stopped working. Russian attacks on critical infrastructure in Ukraine are on the rise. The government fears the country is facing its toughest winter since gaining independence in 1991. That's partly why so much maintenance work is currently underway, like here on a substation in the Solomiansky district of Kyiv. The team from the local power grid is preparing the capital to weather the cold season. They are very aware of potential attacks on the grid.
If these attacks keep up, there may be interruptions to the power supply for residents and other consumers. But we're preparing for that kind of scenario. We've put together plans in coordination with the municipal administration and the central energy system. If that happens somewhere, we'll do our job.
The war has caused the country's energy consumption to plummet. Much of the industrial sector has shut down, and millions of people have fled abroad. Energy experts say Ukraine is currently using 40% less than its average electricity and gas consumption. They say the country is prepared for winter.
We have enough gas reserves and enough coal. We might even make a profit from selling power. We can make it fine through the winter, but only if rockets don't hit our infrastructure, such as our combined heat and power stations, nuclear plants, or other power plants. If they get hit, they'll stop working.
That's part of the reason why the government is urging people to also independently prepare for winter. Lucia is running out of time. Her house near Hostomel Airport was hit half a year ago by a Russian projectile. The only reason she and her family survived is because they'd already fled.
At first, I cried a lot. It was really hard for me. My 14-year-old son got up in the morning and said, "Mom, don't cry. I'll rebuild your house."
They're currently staying at their neighbors, but in just 2 weeks they will have to return to their still unfinished house, which they've been rebuilding with the help of volunteers. There is still no heating.
We need a boiler, either one that runs on solid fuel or electric, because we don't have any gas and we're not getting it back. So solid fuel or electric, but they both cost money. And that's really unrealistic for people who've lost everything.
Lucia is thinking about taking out a loan to protect her family from the cold. The war has stripped Ukrainians of security. Many households are tight on money, and millions of people are heading into the winter months plagued with uncertainty.